Hi guys, we're back again for another episode of WikiHunter. It is March 2nd. I hope you had a great weekend. It's a beautiful Monday. As you can see, I have my Free Assange and Free Manning banner behind me. And, if you haven't watched our previous episodes, stop now, go back, watch it because they're very important. This is obviously a Become Ungovernable project. And we worked for a while trying to figure out what we're going to do to help Assange because we need to get people mobilized in the street, but we also need to educate them starting now. Actually, we've been doing it for many years, but we've started this project called WikiHunter, and we're going to go through WikiLeaks publications and analyze them, provide you guys with the information. And I'm literally going to read you some of their analysis. And I've also added some extra stuff in there to help you kind of, put the whole picture together. And that's part of what WikiLeaks does as well. Like in their analysis, they'll publish the documents for people to read, but they'll also publish specific analysis of certain topics along with it. So it's really invaluable. And I want to encourage everybody to go to wikileaks.com and read this stuff for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. So this episode, we're going to be talking about, for the first time, Podesta emails. And yes, our first, it's only fitting that our first subtopic is going to be UraniumOne because that's the first thing that WikiLeaks published relating to Podesta emails. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to tell you what the Podesta emails were all about, who these people are that are in the emails, and show you how to use the website itself, because anybody can learn how to use WikiLeaks. It's like a huge online library. It's not that hard. I know that things can be kind of intimidating if you've never done it before, but it's totally possible. I'm just an average person. It doesn't take a brilliant, educated person, with college doctorate and all that. Anybody can learn this information. Anybody can process it, research it. So that's what we want to do. We want to empower you guys to do your own research. So let me hit screen share here because I want you guys to see my screen. You don't need to just be looking at my face all day. That's not why you're here, and I appreciate that. Okay. So I have a lot of tabs pulled up. Hold on. Oh, the wrong one. Okay. So I'm actually going to show you, let's see, I'll just go to WikiLeaks first. And I have props too. I made props today too, because I want you guys to see who these people are. So I printed out their faces. And you can see my notes because I don't care. It's cool. Okay, WikiHunter is part 1, episode, I forget how many we are now. I think 3 or 4, episode 3 or 4. The Podesta emails and UraniumOne analysis. So in the Podesta emails, it's essentially a WikiLeaks series on the deals involving Hillary Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. Mr. Podesta is a long-term associate of the Clintons. Here, let me pull it up to WikiLeaks, because this is all about WikiLeaks. I want you guys to go to the website. I want you to know how to use it above all else. And if you know how to use it, that's great. If you are talking to somebody and they've never heard of WikiLeaks, or even worse, they think poorly of WikiLeaks, share these videos out to help contradict their false narrative, okay? So John Podesta is a close connection to Hillary Clinton, long-term associate of the Clintons, and was President Bill Clinton's chief of staff from 1998 until 2001. So let me pull up Podesta emails WikiLeaks. I want to pull up the actual page, okay? And, WikiLeaks, and the whistleblowers, this is how it works. So say Chelsea Manning, she saw things within her position, within the government that were, alarming to her. And she said, what, the public needs to know this. So WikiLeaks provides a way for these whistleblowers to down to share information through an anonymous Dropbox, so she doesn't risk her life for publishing this information, because they will kill you. They have killed people in the past, but I'm not going to go into that. Today we're talking about WikiLeaks and the Podesta emails. So this is the search engine here, but I have a little bit more I want to tell you about this publication. So Mr. Podesta, he also owns the Podesta Group with his brother Tony, and the Podesta Group is a major lobbying firm, and he is the chair of the Center for American Progress. You'll hear me reference CAP. That's what I'm talking about. And CAP is a Washington, D.C. based think tank. And a think tank is a body of experts providing advice and ideas on specific political and economic problems. So they're basically worker bees, thought bees for the establishment. They find ways and solutions to help the establishment elite in DC. So if you go here, right under the Podesta emails, it says read the Podesta emails, part 1, John Podesta and the uranium story. So we're going to click it. And I'm basically going to read to you what this says here, or you can read it yourself in your own time. Part 1 of the Podesta emails comprises of 2,060 emails and 170 attachments. And I'm going to show you how to open up the attachments as well. Attachments focused on Mr. Podesta's communications relating to, lost my place here. Relating to nuclear energy and media handling over donations to the Clinton Foundation from mining and nuclear interests. 1,244 of the emails reference nuclear energy specifically. The full collection includes emails to and from Hillary Clinton as well. So this analysis, I'm going to get into it, but it basically it starts at the reference point of a New York Times article. So they source it directly. I'm going to click on it, and then it'll pop up and take you to it. So take a moment, read this, pause this video, read this article. So when you come back to this video, you'll know what we're talking about already. So in April, first I want to mention UraniumOne. Okay, uranium is a radioactive element, common metal found in rocks all over the world. The United States imports most of the uranium it uses as fuel. Uranium is the fuel most widely used by nuclear power plants for nuclear fission. Okay, so this analysis starts out talking about in April 2015, the New York Times published a story about a company called UraniumOne. Are you still with me? Good. UraniumOne, which was sold to the Russian government-controlled interests, giving Russia effective control of 1/5 of all uranium production capacity in the United States. Now, hold up, stop. If you have previously heard, Trump's talking about UraniumOne, it must be fake news, I can't trust it. Okay, just because a puppet like Trump talks about it does not mean that there's not some truth in it, okay? So how during 2016, Trump was like, I love WikiLeaks, and they were using WikiLeaks for his campaign to get him elected. And now that he's elected, he wants to see Assange get 175 years. The Trump administration is absolutely persecuting WikiLeaks and persecuting Julian Assange, and they're going to be coming for us next. So, this is not a right-wing conspiracy. This is real. This is a legitimate thing. Now, proof of criminal wrongdoing, I don't expect any criminal any criminal to be held accountable within this system, especially if they're elitists, they're like Hillary Clinton, they're not going to be held accountable because everybody is afraid of them. Everybody in power, because they don't want to lose their positions of power. So since the uranium is considered a strategic asset, with implications for the production of nuclear weapons. The deal had to be approved by a committee composed of representatives from a number of U.S. government agencies. Among the agencies that eventually signed off on the deal was the State Department, then headed by Secretary Clinton. This is all true. The committee on, everything that WikiLeaks publishes, even their analysis, is vetted intensely. They are betting their reputation on anything that they publish. So if they're even referencing something, it's because there's validity in it, okay? Okay, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States is known as CFIUS. It comprises, among others, of the Secretaries of the Treasury, Defense, Homeland Security, Commerce, and Energy. As Russian interests gradually took control of UraniumOne, millions of dollars were donated to the Clinton Foundation between 2009 and 2013 from individuals directly connected to the deal, including the chairman of UraniumOne, Ian Telfer. Okay, now I've got some props for you guys because I want you to know who they are. This is Ian Telfer. He's a mining magnate. He is, I would consider scum. He is a billionaire that does deals with people like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. As the Russians took control, although Mrs. Clinton had an agreement with the Obama White House to publicly identify all donors to the Clinton Foundation, the contributions from the chairman of UraniumOne were not publicly disclosed by the Clintons. So this is just one of the examples. I'm sure there's many, many more where Clintons take donations and they take money and it's not publicly accessible, like that information. They keep it private. They keep specific people private, and they pick and choose what they publish. So when the New York Times article was published, the Clinton campaign spokesman Brian Fallon, here's the dweeb. This is him. He is totally lost today. He was the national press secretary for Hillary for America as well. Yeah. That he started his role in 2015. Yeah. Okay. So this is what when I reference pushback, this is what I'm talking about. When the New York Times article was published, Brian Fallon strongly rejected the possibility that then Secretary Clinton exerted any influence. Oh, this is preposterous. Oh my goodness, this is just crazy. Okay, I don't know what that was, but yeah. So he said this is totally baseless, and he released a memo to the New York Times with a rebuttal of the story. So they source it directly, email ID 1489. They make it very, very, very easy for you guys to just click and boom. Okay, so, okay. So then he copies and pastes, and they go, oh, this is so great. Yeah, everybody countering all opposition to Hillary Clinton because she's our savior. And under the, okay, I'm gonna read what he said. Here we go. So now I'm going to show you guys real quick how to search this platform. Scroll down. I had this all saved, all easy, and I still fumble. Okay. So this is his pushback. Copy and paste. I know that I have the link there, but just ignore that. We're going to do this a different way. So go to WikiLeaks, type it in the search bar, this excerpt that says Medium post by Brian rebutting NYT, because I'm going to show you guys how to look it up. Hit the little micro, what do you call it? Magnifying glass. The search. Let me try this. I totally tried all these and it didn't work. Okay, here. This is what I wanted to do. Copy. I want to see if this is working because it worked earlier and it's not working now. I don't know. Okay, but it provides it for you guys. So you can just go to, I have too many tabs open. Okay. Medium post by Brian rebutting NYT. And I'm going to go through his arguments here. So in the memo, Fallon argued, apart from the fact that the State Department was one of the just 9 agencies involved in CFIUS, it is also true that within the State Department, the CFIUS approval process historically does not trigger the personal involvement of Secretary of State. So he's saying, oh, this is not her fault. This is the fault of other people. She didn't have anything to do with this. Okay. And then Hillary's coming, but I duct taped her mouth because I don't want her interfering in this investigation here. So she's duct taped today, but don't worry, because in our live streams, we're going to read to you exactly what she has to say. So that way we don't have to have her talk anymore, because we're going to let her own words and emails speak for themselves. So he's saying, okay, she didn't have anything to do with it. You know, I'm innocent. Oh, I don't do anything. I'm clueless. Okay. And okay, so the committee, CFIUS stands for the Committee on Foreign Investments in the United States, commonly pronounced CFIUS. It's an interagency committee of the United States government that reviews the national security implications of foreign investments in U.S. companies and operations. So the State Department's principal representative to CFIUS was the Assistant Secretary of the State for Economic, Energy, and Business Affairs. So that guy, where is he? Oh, here he is. Okay, so that guy, his name is Jose Fernandez. He's a pretty nice looking guy, but you know, he works with corrupt people, so he's not that attractive, is he? Jose Fernandez stated, the Secretary Clinton never intervened with me on any CFIUS matter. Okay, so his email, if you wanted to look it up, it's jfernandez@gibsondunn.com. So say if you were looking up, okay, so say if you wanted to look up his email, you wanted to see, okay, so this is the guy's email. This is the email that he contacted people through the Podesta emails. You could see his interaction. Copy, and I'm not going to tell you guys how to copy and paste. If you don't know, go to Google, watch YouTube, say, how do I copy and paste information? Because we don't want to make it too easy on you guys. Okay, so I'm going to search for his email. Actually, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to do this exact phrase. Please work. There we go. Okay. Should be 5 or 6. Yeah, 5. So it shows you all the emails, and it tells you look on the left, you can see which category they were published in, because this doesn't do just Podesta emails. In the search, if you search something, it searches all of it, and it categorizes each one and tells you which one. So if I wanted to look up just the Podesta emails, hit the check mark, apply filter, and boom. All right. But you can already see that there were 5. Okay. So here's where it gets interesting. And actually, I may cut it off soon, because after we'll discuss this guy, and then this will be the end of part 1, and then follow back next week for part 2, because this is so much, just like 14 sheets that I have, written out. So it's too much for one. We'll cover this guy, his connection to this situation, to UraniumOne, and then that'll be the end of it for this episode. I don't want to throw too much at you, so take this information and go keep searching. So maybe next time by part 2, you'll already know what I'm talking about. Okay. So when the Clinton campaign spokesman failed to disclose, however, in his rebuttal, failed to disclose that the fact that just a few days before sending that rebuttal to the New York Times, Jose Fernandez, he wrote on the evening of April 17th, 2015 to John Podesta here, and he's duct taped as well because he can shut the fuck up, right? Because we don't need him to talk right now at all. He stated to John Podesta, and I put the email ID there for you, email ID 2053, or you could also copy and paste and go to Google and copy and paste this, and it should come up. He said, John, it was good to talk to you this afternoon, and I appreciate your taking the time to call. So John Podesta called Jose Fernandez on April 17th, 2015. As I mentioned, I would like to do all I can to support Secretary Clinton. I'm really bad at these puppets here. I would like to do all I can to support Secretary Clinton and would welcome your advice and help in steering me to the right persons in her campaign. Okay. So this is the guy that claims to be like, I never talked to her about anything. Okay. 5 days after the email, on April 22nd, Clinton spokesman Brian Fallon, I will get better at this, I promise. The heck is he? He's gone. These sneaky Democrats, they just go. Okay, he's gone. Oh, Brian Fallon's right in front of me, right? Okay. On April 22nd, 2015, Brian Fallon wrote a memo to the New York Times declaring that Jose Fernandez had personally attested to Secretary Clinton, never intervened with the CFIUS matter, but Fallon failed to mention that Fernandez was hardly a neutral witness in this case, considering that he had agreed with John Podesta to play a role in the Clinton campaign. Wow, interesting. Seems like weird they would not mention that because they went pretty hard pushing back, right? The emails show contacts between John Podesta and Jose were communicating, okay? Now that goes back to the time of the internal Clinton campaign concern, and then about the then forthcoming book and movie called Clinton Cash by Peter Schweizer on the financial dealings of the Clinton Foundation. In an email, just keep following me, guys. We're almost to the end of part 1. In an email dated March 29th, 2015, which is the email ID 2059, Jose Fernandez wrote to Podesta. Saying, "Hi, John. I trust you're getting a brief rest after a job well done. Thanks, no doubt, to your recommendation, I have joined the CAP, which is Center for American Progress, which is John Podesta's think tank. He's joined the board of trustees, which I'm finding extremely rewarding." So this guy that was in a government position that was supposed to hold the government accountable said, you know what, I approved this UraniumOne, I was part of this, but Hillary Clinton had no part in this, even though she was above me. And then John Podesta's like, thanks, man, good job. I'm going to get you a job on the board of trustees just with my own word, just one word, and you can have a board on the trustees. Okay. And you can look this up too. Here's the link, americanprogress.org/American Progress Trustee Advisory Board. Okay. So next, part 2, we're going to go through their surrogate talking points, explain to you what a surrogate is and how the Democrats work together, how they use the media and their surrogates to push their talking points. But there definitely is something fishy here, something fishy with all these people. Okay, they're all together. They're all in cahoots, and we need the public to know what's going on because they're so confused and dazed, and there's so much information going out there that people don't understand. WikiLeaks is giving us all this information. They've done all the hard work. It's our job to look at it, to analyze it, to educate ourselves. So that's my whole goal with this web series, and it's very informal. I think we should all have fun with it, and try not to get too stressed out because things are what they are, and we just have to make the best of it and educate ourselves and educate others. So on that note, I really hope you like this video. Please subscribe, share this out, and stay tuned for part 2.